just about anything they can get their hands on. But now the police are using cutting-edge technology to catch the bad guys.
CCTV is gold dust.
Great evidence for the police.
Gotta have them stopped.
Local councils, shops and businesses are fighting crime with their own tricks and traps.
There's a eureka moment when you get that evidence.
And the public are using secret cameras to make sure crooks get their comeuppance.
It makes me feel so angry.
This petty paste is being dealt with.
Yes, we've got her.
So anyone who's up to no good had better think twice. They might just get caught red-handed. Today, teenager Jordan is enjoying his first ever full-time job. Until the day an armed robber fires a gun at him, point blank. But Jordan bravely fights back.
I was so scared. My adrenaline was going.
The violent attacker runs off, but clever police work and camera footage combine to catch him, quite literally by the seat of his pants.
Where the tracksuit bottoms had slipped down, you could simply wipe them in the shorts.
Also today, after his father died in a tragic accident, Stephen suddenly had to take over the family business. But then, a theft in broad daylight threatens his family's livelihood.
This guy just decides to take all our stuff. The stuff that's paying the staff's wages was a better pill to swallow.
Then the thief comes back again, so this time they're going after him. And a rubbish dumper gets a shock when he's caught doing his dirty deed.
Do you realise it's an offence?
But when officers analyse CCTV footage, they realise there's more to this case than meets the eye. Morriston is on the outskirts of Swansea. Jordan, who's 19, works at one of the town's convenience stores. He's delighted to have finally landed a job following a long search for employment after leaving school.
I was out every day with jobs because I left school early. I've got no qualifications, so I was over the moon. I couldn't wait to start.
Jordan's mum, Emma, is proud at how he's turned things around for the better.
He's a typical 19-year-old. He used to get into trouble, you know, he used to get in trouble here and there, and we haven't always seen eye to eye, but, you know, he's grown up a lot lately. He got his own house, so he's getting money to decorate it. Got a steady job that he's settling down with, so he's really self-sufficient.
Thank you.
It's not easy for young people to find employment in the area, and Jordan is happy to have a proper job at last. But his new life is about to become violently disrupted when an armed robber invades the shop and attacks him. It's early afternoon on a weekday in winter. CCTV cameras dotted around the shop show that it's quiet. Jordan's working on his own, filling shelves in the stockroom. But suddenly, he's not alone. A hooded man bursts into the shop.
He came in, he had my scarf, I think, over his face, hat on. He said, open the till.
It's so bizarre. At first, Jordan thinks it's a wind-up, but soon realises this is no joke. Because as the man gets closer, he pulls out a gun.
I'd never seen a gun, so I didn't know if it was a real gun or not. I just panicked.
Jordan pushes the man away.
Obviously, he got more angry.
And then, an extraordinary and horrifying moment. The man fires the gun at Jordan from close range. And he feels something sting his cheek. But Jordan realises it can't have been a full-size bullet, and the robber may have a BB gun that fires pellets rather than bullets. But even so, they can pierce skin and fracture bones.
I didn't want to give him the money because it's worth my money to give away. I felt I could fight back, like I had a chance.
But the robber threatens Jordan again and follows him into the stockroom.
It was like I was cornered, so I stepped back and I picked up a can.
Jordan hits the attacker hard with a drinks can. The pair start a desperate tussle. The man hits Jordan over the head with his gun.
I was so scared, like I didn't feel anything. My adrenaline was going.
Jordan uses all his strength to force the attacker back.
I said, you're not having anything, for the best to leave, and he ran. I knew it was over.
He feels the top of his head as he goes behind the counter.
That's when I realised I could feel something in my head and my hand was covered in blood.
Dazed by what's happened and the sight of the blood, his first thought is to phone his mum.
I just was shocked. It was the first person I wanted to see.
He was really panicked. Well, my heart just sank because I just thought, oh my God, he's been shot. And obviously I just thought the worst then. I was in such a panic.
Emma sets off for the shop. Meanwhile, Jordan calls the police, who soon arrive in force with a firearms unit, dog handlers and many officers.
I think there's about 3 vans, a car. It was all the way up the street.
Detective Constable Andy Davis heads up the investigation.
When I got to the shop where I spoke to Jordan, he told me what had happened. It was quite courageous in the way that he did fight back, putting aside his own safety. He was quite shaken up, and I think as time was going on, it was dawning on him the reality of what could have happened.
I kept thinking about it in my head, like, what just happened? My lips went blue, I was shaking.
When Emma reaches the shop, she's relieved to find that her son is not badly injured.
He was shocked, really shook up by it. But once I had to cut off him, it was great. I knew he was okay. He was going to be okay. Yeah.
Andy and his team get back to the station to begin identifying the would-be robber. They don't have to wait long for an answer. After a few hours, they receive a tip-off.
We had a phone call from a member of the public telling us that the person possibly responsible for this armed robbery was at an address in Morriston.
Andy heads round to the address with a search team and firearms officers.
We found him hiding in a wardrobe in one of the spare bedrooms. We could see that he had black eyes developing, he had a cut under his left eye, and you could see that he had recently been hit in the face with some force.
Jordan's drink can must have hit home. Officers arrest the suspect and soon find more evidence in the house.
Other officers had found a BB gun box, which was the same size and shape of the gun that was used, that we saw in the CCTV footage.
They take the suspect back to the station. Andy checks the CCTV to see if the robber's clothing matches items they've seized, and it does, in a rather unusual way. Jordan's fight back had caused the man to become dishevelled. His hood had come down, and so had his trousers.
Where the tracksuit bottoms had slipped down, you could see blue and white Bermuda shorts.
The suspect in custody is wearing the same underwear. He's been caught with his trousers down.
He had basically no option but to plead guilty.
In court, the man was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Even though Jordan was shaken, he went back to work the next day. Support from local well-wishers has helped him to get over the ordeal.
Customers are coming in and they've been lovely, just asked me what happened and things. So well done. Thank you.
All the family and friends, everybody is so proud of him, and he doesn't take compliments very well. But, yeah, he really did well, yeah.
But from now on, his mum and his boss have insisted that he must put his own safety first.
I know now I should have given him the money. But it's the first time anything like that ever happened to me. I didn't know what to do. It was just one of those things.
Now, most thieves only care about what they're stealing, not who they're stealing from. But maybe this chap should have checked out exactly who owns the beer barrel he's nicking. He spotted the unattended beer keg by the back door of a club and decides to pick it up in his pickup. But what he doesn't realise is he's stealing the keg from a karate club. Perhaps not a smart move, because when the masters of the martial arts see on CCTV what's happened, they recognise the thief. Taking a hands-on approach, they pay the culprit a friendly visit and make him an offer he can't refuse. Luckily, the thief hasn't drunk the beer and decides it's best to bring the barrel straight back. Maybe he was afraid that if he didn't, they'd give him the chop. Every year, 45,000 businesses are burgled. Thieves are always on the lookout for goods they can sell on, and when they see something they want, they can be pretty brazen. A thief steals an expensive mower from a family business. Not exactly a major crime, you may think, but stealing from a small family concern can have far-reaching effects on the family involved. Especially when the brazen thief thinks nothing of coming back and doing it all over again.
A small business, it's a week's wages. It makes you feel vulnerable.
The town of Lurgan in County Armagh, Northern Ireland. McCur's hardware store has been in the town centre for decades. Stephen McCur now runs the family business that was started by his grandfather in the 1930s and then taken over by his father David in the 60s. As a teenager, Stephen started to help his dad out in the shop too.
Big thing being with my dad, I really enjoyed that. Took me everywhere, brought me to every single meeting that he ever really went to. I loved the people. I enjoyed the social aspect of serving people and looking after them. I got a taste of what work was like and I thought it was cool.
Having run the store for over 40 years, Stephen's father David was a pillar of the community.
I looked up to my father a lot. He was a great man and had lots of really nice attributes that I wanted to have, you know, when I was older.
But Stephen's dad was killed in a road accident 9 years ago.
He was knocked off his bike and it was a tough time, but I suppose it was a time when you saw customers in a different light. Dad's funeral was massive. There was about 600 people standing outside the church. They had to set up speakers and everything outside.
At the age of 27, Stephen took over the business, wanting to make a success of it for his father and to support his mother. He was helped by Nigel, the store's general manager, and his dad's trusted right-hand man.
David McCure, he was close to me and Stephen. I look at him as a younger brother and watch out for him and look out for him.
We can fight sometimes, but we're like brothers, and that encouraged me to keep going, you know, not to give up.
And Nigel will prove his worth once again when a thief threatens the family business. It's a Tuesday in March, nearly 5 p.m. As usual, all the larger lawnmowers the store sells are out on the forecourt. But not for long. The store's entrance camera picks up this man going to look at the most expensive lawnmowers outside. He moves one of them closer to the front of the forecourt. But he's not trying it out. Checking nobody's watching him, he stoops to lift the mower up and over the wall. After one glance back, he simply walks away with it.
We didn't notice until the next morning. Bringing the stuff out is normal and this lawnmower was missing, so I checked with all the staff members. Next protocol was to have a look on the cameras.
Stephen and Nigel can't believe what they see.
It was a bit of a shock that somebody had actually had the nerve and the gall to do like this in broad daylight.
It was about £460 this lawnmower cost. As a small business, it's a week's wages for someone, and it was a hard pill to swallow. It was a better pill to swallow when you've got a family at home, and my mum doesn't work in the business anymore, but she's still dependent on it. It makes you feel vulnerable.
The police collect the shop's CCTV recording and take it to surrounding stores to see if anybody's seen anything. This has an immediate result.
Someone had witnessed that the mower had been taken.
What's more, this witness knows the mower thief's identity. Now it's just a case of the police tracking him down.
A few weeks later, police came and said, yeah, we've caught up with him and he's been charged.
Sadly, there's no sign of the lawnmower. But it's some consolation for Stephen that although the thief is on bail, he will soon be going to court.
I thought, right, that's it, done and dusted.
But 2 weeks later, Stephen and Nigel are about to get a nasty surprise.
I was stood in the shop and the next thing a customer comes running in and says, someone just run down the street with one of your lawnmowers. And I was like, you're joking, yeah, this cannot be happening.
This time, an even more expensive mower has been taken.
This is £1,000 this time.
Just thought, right, I'm gonna go try and get this guy. Adrenaline took over.
As Stephen is with a customer, Nigel rushes outside and finds the thief has left a trail.
Then as I went round the back of the shop, I seen the grass box laying on the ground, so I grabbed it.
That's good, but unfortunately, the grass collector is the least valuable part of the lawnmower. Nigel searches behind nearby houses in the hope he can find the rest, and success.
So he'd probably left it there, thinking that he'd come back later and lift it.
So Nigel hasn't got his man, but at least he has got the mower.
I was delighted. It was a good feeling to get it back. It means there that was something that we could sell, and we hadn't lost it.
They wonder who the culprit is this time. But when Nigel and Stephen check the CCTV footage, it's a shocking case of deja vu.
Unbelievable, it was the same guy.
He's still on bail for the first offence, but this thief has come back.
Yeah, I just can't get over the brass neck on the guy. You know, he's just so brazen. Obviously no remorse in him at all.
I think there's a bit of a nerve and there's a bit of stupidity as well.
As before, the thief goes to lift the mower over the wall. But this time, he's seen by the driver of this red car, who pulls up immediately.
The customer who actually spotted him. Thanks so much to that guy who come in and let us know that, you know, this guy was stealing the machine.
It doesn't take the police long to find the man and charge him. In court, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of theft and was sentenced to 3 months in jail.
It was a huge relief when we heard that he'd been actually put behind bars, and we knew that for a little while at least we're hopefully safe.
Just to be sure, the lawnmowers outside are now chained up. Other than that, it's business as usual for Stephen at the family store.
I just hope to keep it going and you know, obviously make it better and improve it and always keep its character.
It's not easy. Do what he's done after the death of his father to keep the business running. Stephen's done me very proud.
We can't just rely on the police to fight crime. We all need to do our bit too. Sharp-eyed citizens can help stop criminals up to no good, if we know what to look out for.
Look out for suspicious activity. So, for instance, somebody coming out of an address with boxes and you don't believe that person's moving out. It could be a neighbour. Somebody trying car doors as they walk down the street. Somebody checking the doors of garages. Those are not normal behaviours.
Offenders will wear winter clothing, such as a winter hat, winter coat, gloves, during the height of summer, mainly because it's to protect their identity, perhaps the CCTV in the area.
And if you do see something, then don't sleep on it, ring us straight away, and not only could you help us catch them for that crime, but you also could have prevented a number of other crimes from occurring in the future.
Give us as much detail as possible, particularly descriptions. We need to know what people look like so we can trace them later on. Think about the direction they're going in, whether in a vehicle, on a bike. Every piece of information you give us helps us build that jigsaw.
It's roll out the barrel day today. We've already seen a fellow who was foolish enough to try to steal beer from a karate club. Well, here's a thief and his accomplices who also get into a barrel of trouble when they go on a roll at a winemaker's. After snipping through the wire fence, they steal 17 barrels used to store wine, worth thousands of pounds. But the burglars make a schoolboy error by advertising them for sale online. The owners see the advert and go to the location mentioned in the ad, where they find the barrels. There's no sign of the burglars, but at least the winemakers have their property back. And the CCTV evidence means that when the police catch up with the thieves, they'll have them over a barrel. Fly tipping can be a scourge on our countryside, but all over Britain there are teams hard at work to stamp it out.
You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court.
Hidden cameras can provide vital evidence. And sometimes, the most straightforward cases have a twist in the tail.
You do get quite a little bit of an adrenaline rush because you know these people are literally caught red-handed.
countryside near Peterlee in the northeast of England is renowned for its beautiful scenery. John Butler's job means he's lucky enough to have seen a fair bit of our wilder areas. He works for the Woodland Trust, which strives to maintain and enhance natural habitats.
The best bits I look forward to is walking through the ancient semi-natural woodland. They're really important for habitat, for wildlife, for well-being. It's really nice to walk through them and see all the flora and the different trees.
But sadly, anyone setting out to enjoy the fascinating flora and fauna here is likely to be shocked to find something far less pleasant. Parts of the local National Trust site, Warren House Gill, have been spoiled by fly tippers dumping rubbish.
The fly tippers, they just don't care. They don't realise what they're doing to the environment. They don't understand the costs involved. It's quite devastating to see.
There's a constant battle raging throughout the country to prevent the illegal dumping of rubbish. But as we'll see, here in County Durham, they're having some success setting fly traps to catch the fly tippers. Ian Holt of Durham Council heads an anti-fly tipping unit.
It causes a problem for the wildlife that live here. It causes a problem for the people that use this area as well. Not to mention the fact that it costs money to remove it. And of course, it's just an absolute eyesore.
Kendra is part of Ian's team.
This place is quite historic with regards to fly tipping because it's secluded. We haven't got passing traffic.
Ironically, there's a recycling centre just 200 yards from the entrance to the Gill.
Possibly due to the fact either maybe the skip site's closed or there's possibly a queue. They end up just driving down here and dumping the waste.
But some tippers would do better to turn around and drive back home with their rubbish, because they're about to get their comeuppance. It's a midsummer's day, and Ian's team has placed a covert camera into the undergrowth.
We always put a sign up in advance. It's important to let people know that they could get videoed, and that's often a deterrent in the first place.
The camera starts recording when it senses motion.
We look at the angles that we've got. We look at making sure that we can pick up registration plates, pick up the people that were doing it.
Sometime later, Kendra and a colleague are out on one of their regular patrols of the area, near the site of the covert cameras.
We came travelling down the bank. We saw a vehicle pulling under the bridge and over to the site. My colleague actually said to me, "Let's follow that vehicle." And his hunches are usually right.
As well as the fixed hidden cameras, the team also have body cameras to capture evidence that can be used in court. Kendra's colleague has switched his camera on. There are two people in the suspicious car they've seen, a man and a woman.
We came under the bridge and just at the exact time, a male was taking items out of his boot and throwing them over the hill.
As Kendra's colleague approaches, the man sheepishly puts a large bag back into the boot of his car.
When we are witnessing it happen there and then, you do get quite a little bit of an adrenaline rush because, you know, these people are literally caught red-handed.
Sure you know why we're here? You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're also being recorded on CCTV, OK? I just have to get a few details off you.
The man's partner is sitting in the front seat.
As far as we were aware, the female wasn't fly tipping at all in this incident. The male's reaction was he just went along with it. He knew he'd been caught, he knew he couldn't get out of it.
You do realise it's an offence? Fly tipping? Yeah.
He told us that he'd just moved into his house with his girlfriend and was clearing out all old stuff that they no longer needed.
Carpet, cardboard, an old vacuum cleaner and household debris have all been dumped onto the verge. The woman says she isn't involved. Her partner claims he only did it because the nearby recycling centre was shut.
There's no excuse. He could have easily have just saw that the skip was closed, left it in the car and came back the next day and brought it back to the skip site.
Did you put anything over there?
Sorry?
Did you put anything over there?
No. What'll happen?
You'll have to go to court.
Go to court?
Yeah. Really? Yeah. If it was littering, then it would be a fixed penalty from ourselves. But because it's fly tipping, it carries a harsher sentence. You can understand why.
How much do you think we're looking at?
Couldn't tell you. It's up to the courts to decide.
Once they've got his details, Kendra and her colleague let the man go and they return to their office.
Kendra came back and said, "You never guess what's happened today. I caught somebody fly tipping." There's a certain buzz that goes around finding out that that's what's happened.
It's highly unusual to catch a fly tipper in the act, and in this case, there's some more surprising evidence still to come. Remember that hidden camera?
Our fly tipping team went back and pulled the cameras back in, and we actually had caught the whole incident from him pulling into the area.
It makes for interesting viewing.
At the time, it was the man that was fly tipping. Of course, what a surprise when the footage was reviewed, actually they were both involved.
The female, she'd also been helping take the rubbish out of the boot of the car.
When she heard Kendra's vehicle arriving, the woman had quickly got into the front seat of the car. The man then returned his bag of rubbish to the boot. They were both fully aware they'd been rumbled and were trying to hide it.
So myself and my colleague went to the property of where the young couple lived, and her reaction was basically hands up, I've been caught also.
In court, the fly tippers were ordered to pay £408 each in fines and costs. The couple now also have criminal records. It's a tough lesson, but the countryside needs protecting, and publicity from the case sends out a message that fly tipping won't be tolerated.
The environment, it's part of our life. We don't want to cause any damage to it, and we don't want to lose it. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. We really do need to take care of it.
That's all for today. Join us next time to see some other villains who've been caught red-handed. They might just get caught red-handed. Today, teenager Jordan is enjoying his first ever full-time job. Until the day an armed robber fires a gun at him, point blank. But Jordan bravely fights back.
I was so scared. My adrenaline was going.
The violent attacker runs off, but clever police work and camera footage combine to catch him, quite literally by the seat of his pants.
Where the tracksuit bottoms had slipped.
So I was over the moon. I couldn't wait to start.
Jordan's mum, Emma, is proud at how he's turned things around for the better.
He's a typical 19-year-old. He used to get into trouble, you know, he used to get in trouble here and there, and we haven't always seen eye to eye, but, you know, he's grown up a lot lately. He's got his own house, so he's getting money to decorate it. He's got a steady job that he's settling down with, so he's really self-sufficient.
Thank you.
It's not easy for young people to find employment in the area, and Jordan is happy to have a proper job at last. But when officers analyse CCTV footage, they realise there's more to this case than meets the eye. Morriston is on the outskirts of Swansea. Jordan, who's 19, works at one of the town's convenience stores.
£55.
He's delighted to have finally landed a job following a long search for employment after leaving school.
I was out every day with jobs because I left school early. I've got no qualification.
Just about anything they can get their hands on. But now the police are using cutting-edge technology to catch the bad guys.
CCTV is gold dust.
Great evidence for the police.
Gotta have him stopped.
Local councils, shops and businesses are fighting crime with their own tricks and traps.
There's a eureka moment when you get that evidence.
And the public are using secret cameras to make sure crooks get their comeuppance.
It makes me feel so angry.
He's paid the price, he's been dealt with.
Yes, we've got her.
So anyone who's up to no good had better think twice.
Down, he was simply white Bermuda shorts.
Also today, after his father died in a tragic accident, Stephen suddenly had to take over the family business. But then, A theft in broad daylight threatens his family's livelihood.
This guy just decides to take our stuff, the stuff that's paying the staff's wages. It was a better pill to swallow.
Then the thief comes back again, so this time they're going after him. And a rubbish dumper gets a shock when he's caught doing his dirty deed.
Do you realise it's an offence? Fly tipping. Yeah.